Welcome back, guys. I trust you've been staying safe. The ride-hailing services have caught up here in Ghana, and as such, they've become key competitors against the taxi industry, rightly so, as has been the case all around the world. The major brands dominating in Ghana here are Uber, Bolt, and then Yango. There are other little ones trying to also carve a market share. But in recent times, some of these drivers have become very prone to risk at certain key locations within Ghana as a country. And today's true crime story is just going to highlight one of such areas based on another happening that occurred in this particular area. It is in the suburb town of Teshie, which is in the capital city, Accra, and this is a serious one. I'm sure you saw the footage earlier at the beginning of this video. Today's true crime story is just going to throw more light on the risks some of these drivers are facing. And this is not just limited to this ride-hailing service, because it could happen to any other driver in any vehicle. It's about a crime being committed, not about the brand or the company somebody is driving for. If you are ready for this true crime story, just buckle up and let's go. Before we go to today's true crime story, please support our campaign against femicide by just going to the comment section and typing "Please stop the femicide" or "Say no to femicide" or hashtag "Say no to femicide" and help us push the campaign against femicide across the world. Again, also support our channel by hitting the subscribe button if you haven't yet subscribed. Our analytics show us that most of you viewers are watching our videos alright, but most of you are not subscribed to the channel and it's not helping us grow. Please hit the subscribe button and help push our channel and the campaign forward. Thank you. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. We appreciate the support. Now to the story at hand. This incident is just about 24 hours old and it's coming from my own country, Ghana, specifically from Teshie, a suburb town in the capital city of Accra. Before I get into the true crime story itself, let's go and watch the full footage so you appreciate exactly what happened, and then I'll add my 2 cents. I'm actually going to show you 2 separate footages of how some of these ride-hailing drivers, or these drivers of some of these ride-hailing services, are being attacked for their valuables because of the peculiar nature in which their service puts them sometimes. I'll pause it here, let's watch the footage, and then I'll come back afterwards.
Hello? Are you the one behind me? Come on. Yes. Hello, Samuel, where are you? Oh, sorry, sir. Is this Mr. Ike? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, is this? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? Emmanuel. No, I'm not picking Emmanuel. And where are you going? Yeah, so where are you going? Where did you say you are going? Where are you going? To the other guy. Where are you standing at?
Jesus! Got it, got it.
Welcome back. Now I'll dig into the footages and add my 2 cents and go deeper. But before I do so, let me issue this disclaimer that I don't think any of this is the fault of the companies, the respective ride-hailing companies. If for anything, I think they are doing a very great job. They have come to dissolve the monopolistic taxi industry in Ghana. So I tip my hats off to them. I think that this is more about symptoms of a crime-prone neighborhood, specifically Teshie, because these 2 footages are just 2 of many that have come from that specific location. And it's getting worrying because it has gotten to the point that whether it's a Yango driver, an Uber driver, a Bolt driver, or whichever cab hailing service or ride hailing service driver, if you request that you need them to come and pick you for a trip from Teshie, even after 6 p.m., they will reject the ride because the area has become so prone to these drivers getting robbed that they will rather reject the ride or reject the trip than risk getting robbed. And to me, I think that it makes sense, survival first before anything else, because there have been several instances where some are being robbed off of their phones, some are being robbed off of their daily sales. Some of these drivers don't even own the cars themselves. They've been actually employed and contracted by an employer to drive and render accounts to the employer at the end of each day or each week. Imagine you are this employer and you come back home for your driver to tell you that I got robbed. Some people may not even believe. Not to talk about the hardships that extends to the driver and his or her family because of some of these things. And most importantly, the risk of injury to the driver, and even worse, the possible risk of loss of lives. This is becoming unbecoming, and most of these things, in as much as someone would say they can happen anywhere, and I don't dispute, Teshie is becoming notorious for this. If you look at what happened, I think that the driver could also do better, or let me say the drivers in both instances could have done better. But I would add quickly that this is also not an analysis restricted to just the ride-hailing drivers, because it is more of a theft and robbery thing, and this is not about a brand of a company or a type of a service being issued. So I hope that even if you are watching this and you are not one of these drivers, you take a cue and learn some things as far as security and safety are concerned when you are in your car, especially at areas which could be prone to such issues. Now, the next thing I want to touch on is what these drivers could have done to prevent some of these things. First of all, the vehicle should be locked. If you watch the second footage, you see the guy just opened the door and entered, and then quickly snatched the phone from the dashboard and bolted. Well, ironically, one of the ride-hailing services name is Bolt, but that's on the lighter side. So ideally, I think the car should have been locked such that you would ascertain certain things and confirm certain things as a driver before you actually unlock it for somebody to enter. Customer experience is important, but not at the risk of your life. It should go hand in hand with safety, and I think these controls could be embedded in there. Even to the first video as well, where he was even attacked with a knife. He was asking some questions, but knowing how their system works, I don't think that the same person who actually requested for the ride will be the one performing the robbery. So I'm looking at other security protocols that could have been resorted to be sure of who was actually being allowed to enter the vehicle. And some of these things are there. I've hailed some of these rides before as a customer, and there are security tips that the company puts across for us customers as well, such that you don't just go and sit in the car because the car has come saying that you requested. You check the number plates, you check even the picture of the driver to be sure he's the same person sitting in there, because someone would have actually taken over the vehicle just to get access to you. Yeah, it's possible. Or to get access to you for whatever they need you for. And here in Africa, you are a working asset for someone's criminal purpose. So don't discount yourself as nobody wants anything to do with you. You never know the evil that is cooking in somebody's mind, for which you are the golden solution they are waiting for. So sometimes the paranoia helps keep you alive. So I think that further checks could have been done. And I see the first driver was trying to do that to an extent, but I don't know where he went wrong exactly, because I don't think that the same person who requested the ride is the one who pulled the knife. Either there was collusion or a conspiracy between the one who requested the ride and the one who performed the robbery. But either way, I think further questions should be asked, scrutiny should be put in before people are allowed to get into the vehicle, because once they get in, they can have access to you, like we saw in the video. And to the point where he's actually struggling with an attacker who has a knife to his throat, asking him to take his phone. I think it's a very bad move on the driver's part. What is the value of a phone compared to the value of your life? Imagine this attacker stabbed him and God forbid he died. You'd have lost your life because of a phone. I don't even know the model of phone it is, but irrespective, no model of phone is worth your life. But this is also happening. And one of the annoying excuses you sometimes hear people pass off when crimes like this come up is unemployment is high, there's no work for the youth to do. And I'm like, yeah, you have a point, unemployment is high, but that is not an excuse. Unless you are okay giving that excuse when you get robbed, and you make that excuse on behalf of the person who robbed you. You wouldn't do that. These are things you sit in the comfort of your home or in your safe zone and just say to excuse yourself from appreciating that people cannot just do anything because there's a problem. The fact that unemployment is high is not an excuse for you to get up and start robbing people. I don't think that is an excuse or that is the way to go. And like I said, this is not just about ride-hailing service drivers. It could happen to you, it could happen to me, wherever you find yourself in the world. Even in the US, recently, an Uber Eats driver was lured and he was butchered and dismembered. So this can happen to anybody, or most people, let me put it that way. But I believe that in as much as we can't be perfect, certain measures can be put in to make things better. And I believe that these companies, when they see such things, also begin to get to the drawing board and see how they can improve the services. That is my belief. Let me know what you think in the comment section. But for the people of Teshie, I think it also becomes a problem, because I don't believe everyone at Teshie is involved in this. Maybe some few miscreants, but it's beginning to fester and the place is beginning to get a reputation. And the interesting thing is, I'm told there's a well-established police station there. I'm expecting that the police should root out these people, especially in the first footage where you get to see the person's face. This should be a straightforward thing. And I trust the police to do their job. I know they are excellent at some of these things and others. And I'm sure even at the point of making this video, they're already far ahead in investigations. I'm waiting to see in the days coming up, and I'm sure that something will come out from them about having either apprehended this guy or made great headway with this investigation. But generally, I think we should all take a cue from this and stay safe. I know of people who have been robbed even in the daytime in their cars. Some were distracted and then someone sneaked in because their doors were not locked. I know of people who were tricked, and sometimes too, even if your door is locked, they can break the glass. But that draws more attention, and most often it's more of a touch and go crime. They don't want to make noise to draw attention, so at least it gives you a layer of control against certain possibilities like this. But hey, once you have life, you have a chance to try again. And I would advise that nobody should be struggling with someone who is attacking you with a weapon, even if you think you are a good martial artist or whatever. Your life is not worth that item that is being taken from you. These are my 2 cents. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I think that these people should be arrested immediately, if possible, and prosecuted, especially the first guy who is doing that with a weapon. I think per the law, he could get about 20 years, maybe, if he's found out and successfully prosecuted. These things become an example, and I'm sure over time, some of these things will go down. Keep an eye out, like I've always been saying. There are people like this around, and it's not just at Teshie. They could be in any neighborhood waiting for an opportunity to spring. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet done so, and leave your comments in the comment section. Don't forget to add the campaign message, "Say no to femicide," or hashtag "Please stop the femicide." We'll catch you next time. Stay safe out there.